And hello, thank you for being here with us on the Hill. Once again, happy Monday, by the way. I'm Blake Berman. Joining me today, Chris Steyerwalt, NewsNation political editor and senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute. Scott Bolden is the former D.C. Democratic Party chairman, a legal analyst as well. Julia Manchester, national political reporter for The Hill. And Bill McGinley is the former Trump White House cabinet secretary. Hello to you all. Lots to get to this hour. We start today with this. Did you see this earlier today? Donald Trump officially putting his name on the ballot in New Hampshire. Now, this is the traditional voyage presidential candidates routinely make every 4 years. But it's also the first time a former president has returned to the Granite State to officially file in person. Afterwards, in a campaign speech, Trump made Israel and the ongoing war against Hamas a focal point, even levying this claim.
It was Joe Biden with his weakness and what he did with Iran and others that caused the attack on Israel. Unlike Joe Biden, I will stand with our friend and ally, the state of Israel, 100%. We'll stand with them 100%.
It was Joe Biden, Chris, who caused the attack on Israel. That's pretty big stuff.
I don't know what Donald Trump means that he would be closer to Israel than Joe Biden, who flew to Israel and hugged Benjamin Netanyahu in the middle of a war. I don't know what else that he'd be looking for, and I think that points to a problem for Trump, for the Republicans here, is that they had Joe Biden on the back foot on foreign policy after the debacleist withdrawal from Afghanistan, and here's one where Biden has seemed to line up with where the electorate is and gone to what would be a place of strength for Republicans. So I think that's noteworthy, especially in New Hampshire.
What's so interesting to me is that on the flip side of it, you have Joe Biden, who's gotten praise from some conservatives, particularly conservatives in Israel, for his response, his administration's response to the terror attack and to the war. But when you look at the dynamics within the Democratic Party, that's fascinating because Joe Biden is dealing with a very divided Democratic Party. A lot of progressives upset that he's taken such a hardline stance in supporting Israel.
We'll get to that in a second. You know, these comments from Donald Trump, though, you just heard some of them. He also said, I will immediately reinstate all sanctions on the Iranian regime bill if he's president again. He said it will be the most crippling sanctions in history. We will also unleash our most powerful economic weapon, drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, and I think during the Trump administration, there was a lot of moral clarity with respect to Iran. President Trump and the administration, from Secretary of State Pompeo and others in the Defense Department, said, you harm one hair on an American's head, you're going to pay the price. General Soleimani, who was one of the people who was leading the IED attacks against American soldiers in Iraq, got off a plane, went into a car, and was taken out by a drone bomb. So I think the Trump administration did lay down some very clear red lines and followed through on them, and I think that's what he was trying to say, as artfully as it was. But Julia raises a great point. There is a lot of division within the Democratic Party on the point of supporting Israel, and I think that's going to be something we have to watch it play out, because this war is not ending anytime soon.
Yeah, but the reality is
Israel needs long-term support.
Yeah, that's true, but they need long-term solutions in that region. But 68% of the Democrats support Joe Biden and what he's doing with Israel. Obviously, you've got some others that don't necessarily agree with how forceful he's been, but he's also being forceful in trying to figure out how to get those hostages home and how to get aid to the Palestinians before this real ground war begins.
Hey, joining us, by the way, for the next half hour or so, Mick Mulvaney, former White House chief of staff during the Trump administration, also NewsNation economic and political contributor. Hello, Mick. You know, those were some pretty big comments, I think you could say, from the former president. Is stuff like that going to stick?
Yeah, and I think Bill put it really well when he said they were inartful. But look, Trump has a little bit of cleanup to do. He was attacked from his right for not being pro-Israel enough in the early days of this war. He was critical of Benjamin Netanyahu and also said, you know, what geniuses Hamas was. That didn't go over very well. So he sort of, in a rare case, got caught flat-footed and is trying to now sort of solidify that. You're right. Joe Biden has been as solid as any conservative Republican could want on Israel. But I think Scott's point is a good one, which is it's 68% support, which means it's 32% that it's not in the Democrats. This is an issue that can divide Democrats over the time, whereas I think it unites Republicans. So we have to wait and see how it plays out over the coming weeks.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.